Us and them walk into a bar, neither really recognising each other. Both look too familiar to decipher, propping up the opposite corners of the same scar, stretching the perimeter of no man's land. Us sips his bitter shandy between two brick dust palms, dragging the dredge like an upturned boat, sails splintering down that foghorn throat. The oil spill of his fingerprint stains the rippled glass. Them at the far edge of a shrinking bar, lent at arm's length, testing their strength, their proximity to patience and the fire exit. If it all goes south, then at least they can make a break for it. They've heard this siren song from across the soggy beer mats. The barman breaks the silence, this time, with a hand made of spare change and yeast, and at least, he says, stays behind the barricade. Bitter shandy, says Us, like a broken record skipping. Us turns to them with a mouth drawn sideways, wide and wild. Didn't expect to see you round here, says Us, with a sneer. His intentions are crystal clear and ringing. Says the problem with them, you see, is they're not quite like us, in a way that he can't quite put his finger on, but points, regardless. Says that them is taking over us, pushing us right out of here. Us is only protecting us from them, Us says, and us would only expect the same from them, as them says nothing at first. And them, now at the foot of a precipice, poised to confront the subtext of his rhetoric, and yet it might be wiser to ignore the political and to lean on his vernacular, some level of self-deprecation or a monotone repetition of self-preservation, an apology of their own existence. Us turns to lads, and them sees their chance. Sick to death sometimes of this stance that just enhances every difference, nothing about them being so similar. In fact, says them, the army's getting thin on the ground now, and it seems to me that us just isn't as many of us as it used to be. Pore over this map with me, says them. Show me these borders you see, blinding in their invisibility. Why we build such beautiful communities and split them down the middle, fill one with hate and the other with opportunity, as if the two should run parallel in perpetuity. It's us, you see, when you see me, wiles away the lies that turn from blackbird to magpies, hatching hungry in his ink-print eyes and sighs. What is it about me? Us and them are now two sides of the same community, two parts of a crew manning this lonely ship to see what's ebbing by, and all the while us is an echo falling into shrapnel. See, now it's us's turn to say nothing to them, as us and them have reached no man's land again. There's that silence now, but that's the joke, isn't it? Say us and them walk into a mosque. No, walk into a shop or a church or an abandoned ship, a forest with a road split almost neatly in two. What would you do then? How we all hold our breath waiting to see what us and them do next. And how and why are now two sugar-cubed monoliths dissolving from the tip into heated water. How them looks like us from the inside anyway, and how us looks like them from the outside, and why we keep these borders clear, never stepping over or even too near. It just seems like the status quo is just too appealing. But where do you really draw the arbitrary line? See, the grass looks fine on either side, and I can't tell which side is mine sometimes. There is us and them. There is ours and we, and I don't see how the border, the equator, equates to a split in the community. Our neighbour could be a them to you, but they're someone to somebody, and on the street, a cul-de-sac, a postcode lottery, the country, a continent, a lonely planet spinning. The us and them of our local, global community. Now, in a good case scenario, us and them shake hands, come to a stalemate between belief and understanding, or an alternative ending, when they clash at bar stools and knock each other arrogant with the weight of their opinions. But either way, us and them still brave the journey home.